What is up, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen? So we are here at Ace's shop today. He was nice enough to let me do something here. I'm gonna probably pay him back in a tow or something, figure it out. But today we are doing a little bit of maintenance to the truck. So as you guys know, my check engine light has been on for quite some time now. Misfire and the mission code. Mission code, I think I know what it is. It might be the cats. So that figure out that I just need to get rid of the misfire, and by doing that, I am gonna do the direct port injection injectors. So I got all new ones, pretty small. For this, it's gonna be not easy, maybe easy for me, maybe not easy for other people. I do have some mechanical experience, obviously not electrical because the camera's always facing somewhere where I'm not, but I gotta remove the intake, a couple fuel lines, a couple connections, stuff like that. Should be straightforward swap. Got some dielectric grease, some RTV for the intake, new gaskets, all the good stuff. I'm gonna try to record a little bit. Obviously it's harder because it's sort of like in the back. It would be easy like if I had the head mount GoPro or something, but I'm gonna try to get done. It's currently 12:58 and I'm gonna take my time. I don't want to break anything because then I'll be stuck. It's a little late to order parts or something, who knows. So I'm gonna do everything super slow, smooth, and then we can go from there. So I'll take a video once I get the intake off and whatnot, and we'll go from there. And we are all ready to put the new ones in. I dropped one of these little gaskets. I haven't found it yet, but I'm gonna look for it right now. It's been about 15 minutes now. I was vacuuming all that junk out, but I got the bottom ones open. Got the intake on the floor. I'm gonna clean that out, and I'm gonna clean probably inside the ports. It's super dirty. It needs a nice cleaning. Get it as clean as I could. Put the new injectors in, and then put the rail back on, put the intake on, button everything up, and that's it. Actually really didn't take that many tools. Just needed a 10, an 8, and then a fuel line disconnect, which I have right here. This little blue one. I didn't even need none of that stuff. Most of it was just connectors and whatnot to get it off, but pretty simple, I guess. I didn't touch this, so that's gonna stay how it is. I guess this is some type of, I don't know, I'm not gonna mess with it. But let me get this buttoned up. Find that little, it's like a little spacer. It's not like a gasket, it's a spacer that goes on top, but hopefully I can find it. I haven't checked if the new ones come with it, but just in case they don't, I know it's probably somewhere on the floor. I heard it fall, I just haven't looked for it. So I'm gonna get back to you guys in a bit. And she's alive. It is 3 o'clock. It's all back together. I did take my time putting everything back together, cleaned it up a little bit, cleaned the intake ports and all that good stuff, you know. If you're running, no leaks, no nothing. Got a new air filter, injectors, a direct port injectors. And before, this truck used to crank a lot, like for it to start, and then it smelled like raw gas, or I don't know. That's what they say. So, oh, and I just blurred the camera. Great. So it smells better. Obviously, I mean, it's been on for a year, so it's probably got a lot of soot and stuff to clean out. So I'm gonna go drive it around a little bit, floor it, do a couple little high rev shifts and whatnot, and come back, make sure everything's good, and make sure it's not leaking. Or if it catches on fire, well, you know what? It's time for a new truck anyways. But this thing has been really good to me. Got 160,000 miles. I got it 2.5 years ago, almost 3 now, with 35,000 miles. And most of these miles are tow miles and highway miles, so I do the oil change religiously, and diff flushes or diff fluid swaps, transfer case fluid, and front differential fluid. And I do make sure everything is always on point. I do use 87. Honestly, I've heard that there's no big deal. I run E85 occasionally in this. I don't know if it makes a difference or not, just to get everything all cleaned up and whatnot. I don't know. I like it better with E85, but it goes through it like crazy when I'm towing, so I do put regular gas. It lasts a little bit longer. So that being said, this thing is ready to hit the road. Hopefully no issues. I'm sure I need a catalytic converter on both sides from how long it's been with the misfire, so we'll see. Right now it's not shaking at all. It's pretty solid. Hopefully it stays that way, and hopefully that fix is the long crank issue and the intermediate misfire. Sounds real good, sounds healthy, it feels good, you know. So we'll see what happens. Now I'm gonna wrap up all my tools and get on the road and see what happens. Alright guys, on today's episode we are changing the water pump on my Tahoe. As you can see, it's leaking. So it's time to change it. It's right here. I guess these last couple days have just been straight up mechanic work, and I'm getting better from a terrible cold or whatever is going on. I got it. I was super bad like 3 days ago. I'm finally getting better now. After I fixed the truck with the direct port injection injectors, truck is running really good actually. I had that cold on for so long that now I need either catalytic converters or O2 sensors. I'm gonna try to do O2 sensors first, see what happens, and then it's the cheapest route. Actually, the cheapest route would be to do non-foulers, but I want this truck running tippity top condition. Before I didn't really care too much. I just worried about the oil changes and stuff like that, but now I kind of want to make sure everything is running good, since it is now at roughly 160. But enough talking about the truck. Let's get this water pump fixed. So this should take no more than an hour and a half. It is cold outside today, and I decided to do it outside, not in the shop, just because of all the coolant that's going to be dropped. I can contain it better being outside. I got more stuff here at home, you know, like buckets and crates and stuff that I can put under. That way, you know, I don't get the shop so dirty and stuff, and it is what it is. I'll do it here, and other than that, it should be pretty good to go, and I'll be back. Alright guys, so about 20 minutes later we got the water pump off, and as you can see, this thing is all dirty, but whatever. I cleaned up the ports. This truck is a daily. It's got 200k miles. Of course it's gonna have oil leaks everywhere. It is what it is. They've been fixed before, and they just, you know, obviously I've never cleaned that up or nothing like that. It is what it is. These things are fucking bulletproof. So as long as it's leaking oil, it's got oil. But this is the other one right here. Oh, this is the old one. As you can see, this thing has been through hell and back. It is the original, I believe. I've never done it on this truck. And then we got a nice fresh OE one with some coolant, and the only thing I didn't get was the belt. It is what it is. I just changed the belt not too long ago, so it's still fresh. But yeah, this is a pretty simple job if you know what you're doing. I gotta clean some stuff like this because when I started it, it's just, you know, leaked everywhere, obviously, like over there, stuff like that. I'm gonna try to clean some of this stuff off so that if there is any new leaks, I could see it better, especially with that front cover. I did that one time already. I don't recommend it. It's a pain in the ass. Basically, got to pull the pan and that one to change the gaskets, which was done. But it's obviously way too much work for something like this that gets driven just to work and back. Never goes on long trips like that. But regardless, these motors are indestructible. I mean, I could throw a turbo on this thing. Thing's gonna ride. It's got a rebuilt trans from like maybe a year and a half ago. I did it. But as you can see, I'm still trying to get better, so excuse the voice and whatnot. But I'm gonna try to get all this stuff nice and clean, and then I'll show you guys the final product once up and running. Should be done. I don't know, I gotta put some RTV on that stuff so it doesn't leak, on the gaskets for the water pump. So I'm gonna heat up some RTV in the heater, just because it's been sitting in the trunk of my truck, which is cold. So I want to get that warm enough to be able to put on, and it stopped leaking now from the block, so I could dry all that up and the RTV seal correctly. Even though it has gaskets, but I like to put a thin little layer on it, and that way, I mean, a little bit of extra protection. So if it does leak, it'll be from the water pump going bad, from the seal in the bearing. I think, yeah, from the seal that's in the bearing. Once that starts leaking, it's pretty much going bad. And that's what happened here. It would leak, and then when you would shut it off, it would leak. When it was running, it wouldn't. I'm not sure if that's the design of that type of seal. I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't done this stuff in a while. Good thing is that I do know the common sense and the basics of mechanic work, so something like this isn't too crazy for me. Just like I did the direct port injection injectors on this one, which is a little bit more complicated. A lot more things can break, sensors, plugs, stuff like that. But for this simple GM motors, super easy. I mean, just the fan, that's about it. And the shroud or whatever over here, take the belt off. It's got like 6-7 bolts, and you put it right back exactly how it was and bleed the system, and then you are good to go. So I'll see you guys in a bit. And we are all set. Water pump is on, it's running, it's almost up to operating temperature. Still a little cold, but it's getting there. I think the thermostat just opened up. So far so good. No leaks so far. So this job is complete. A little less than 45 minutes. It's pretty simple. It's one of those jobs where, oh, look at all that oil. But that's a new pump. You can see it there. No leaks so far. A little bit of RTV, just in case. But this thing is ready to roll. Just waiting. I think the thermostat opened up already. I don't know. I'm gonna just let it run for 15-20 minutes, let it get up, maybe drive it around the block, and then this thing is ready to go back on the road. No issues. I literally just did the fuel pump in those a day before I did my direct port injection injectors. I did the fuel pump on this thing. It wouldn't start in the morning, so I'm gonna go bang on the tank, and it started. And I thought it was okay to drive, but as soon as I put it in drive to go, it died. So I was like, you know what, I'll just drop the tank real quick. It literally took me about maybe 2 hours, give or take. I did it by myself, and it had almost full tank of gas. So that thing was heavy. I had to drain it, then
be able to put it up by myself, even though I had a jack and stuff. But it was fucking raining. Oh my god, it was horrible. I think that's why I got so sick too, was because I was on the floor. My back was wet, everything was wet. And then the next day I did the next 2 days. 2 days after that I did my injectors. And then now the next day, no, not next day, 2 days now after my injectors, the water pump was leaking, and I left it like that for maybe a day, day and a half. Now just decided to change it just because it goes out, overheats. This thing is done. I'm not putting no more money into it. Got almost 200,000. I would hate to put a motor in it, but for now this thing is, I mean, 4x4. It's a great truck for a daily driver to go to work and back. This thing is great. So it should be good to go for another, let's hope, another 100K something. So other than that, this thing is ready to go, and we are done with this video. It's a little bit of mechanic work and stuff other than transport. You know, I did do other things other than drive before. A lot of this stuff I did learn either by myself or from other mechanics to help me, especially when you're in the industry. You do get some good mechanics that will teach you proper ways, their way, other ways, different ways. That way you know when you run into different situations what to do, and I'm very grateful for that. I had a lot of good teachers, a lot of good support and stuff, and a lot of it was just myself wanting to learn this stuff so that I don't have to pay somebody later to do it, especially something like this, which seems very difficult, but it's super simple. It's more of just putting everything back how it is. Same thing with the direct port injectors on this truck. It was a little bit more nerve-wracking since it is a newer vehicle. I didn't want to damage anything, break anything, because stuff, when you get more into the motor stuff, special order stuff or back order, and just really hard to get, or it's just super expensive. So I did take my time on it, but again, basic common sense of how things work will get you a long way in everything, including life. So very grateful for that, but to not be able to pay somebody to do something like this definitely helps, because the pump was, I'm gonna say 200 bucks, something like that, with the thermostat. I went all OE on the OEM fluid and stuff, just that way it's all set. I know there was no cut corners on that. With the direct port injectors, I got them on eBay from a very reputable reseller for Ford things, so I didn't worry too much. My check engine light did come back on almost 4 days later now, which is for a catalytic converter, PO430. It could be CATs or it could be the O2 sensors from how long I had it with the misfire. So I gotta see if I could find somebody that could diagnose it a little bit deeper. That way I'm not just doing a test and tune like O2 sensors and then CATs. I don't know, I might just do the foulers. If the goes away, it is what it is. But again, like I said, I want it to be 100%. I don't want to be somewhere stranded just because I cheaped out on a $100 O2 sensor. Instead I bought a fouler, 10 bucks, 5 bucks or whatever. So if I could do the O2 sensors and that be the issue, then I'm gonna spend the 200 bucks on both sides, and then maybe do the backs, maybe do all four, maybe, just because I'm already there. And then if it ends up not being that, then I have to change the catalytic converters, which is gonna suck, because the OEM ones are super expensive, and I don't want an exhaust on this truck because of the towing. It's gonna be super annoying to listen to that rumble for, you know, 30 hours, 32 hours, however long I'm on the road. And then when I'm trying to pass somebody, it's gonna like, I mean, it's if it was just a day-to-day little thing, towing for fun and stuff, why not? But I do it for work, and it's not, how do I say it? Let's say I'm at a truck stop and I turn it off, and then I turn it on, it's gonna be super loud and wake other people up, disturb their sleep. Like I said, that's been done to me, and I would hate to do that to somebody. So we'll see. But So far, this video is gonna be just mechanic work and stuff on my personal stuff. This is all new to me. I don't really record stuff like this. So we'll see what's next. Hopefully I get some work now that I'm back up and running and I feel better. I'll take some stuff in and we'll see what's next. I'll see you guys on the next one.